So today we are talking about kitchen essentials, pots and pans. One of the first pans that I'm going to talk about today, this is a saucepan. I believe this is a 3.5 quart saucepan. This is a non-stick saucepan. It does not have to be. You can cook different items in this pan. Like you can actually cook rice. Of course, it being a saucepan, you can cook different sauces in it if you choose to. You can also cook veggies. Veggies, rice. And if you're in the South, you know what go in this pot, grits. Pot number 2 that we're going to talk about today is going to be what is known as a frying pan. This is actually my favorite pan here. I love a nice, heavy frying pan. And it's really important for your frying pan to have a metal handle. And we're going to get to that shortly as well. But this is actually a 10-inch frying pan. This is really good for a 1 to 2 person home as well. There are a lot of different items that can be cooked in this pan. Even though this is called a frying pan, I would suggest to not try to deep fry in a frying pan. It's a little dangerous for especially a beginner because sometimes we may under or overestimate the amount of oil that goes into a pan. And so once you drop that meat into this pan, and because these sides are curved, it's going to boil. It can sometimes boil over, especially if there is moisture within that meat. All oil does is just get really, really hot. It bubbles, goes everywhere. And a lot of times it will roll off the side of the pan. And the dangerous part about that is that can cause a kitchen fire. And we do not want that. So within this pan, some good items that can be cooked in this would be, my very favorite is steaks can be cooked in this. You can saute different vegetables in this pan. It's a lot of different items that you can cook in this pan. And one of the reasons they call this a frying pan is because oil can go in here and you can fry with oil. Some people do choose to deep fry with it. Again, I don't suggest that. Especially for a rookie, but you can't stop grandma. You can't stop grandma from frying her chicken. You can't stop grandma from frying her chicken in a good frying pan. But again, I said I was going to talk about metal handles. So what's really important about a metal handle on a frying pan, especially if you're cooking steaks or you may be searing some type of meat, when you have a frying pan that has a handle on it, you can actually sear that meat, season it, sear it really well. And then you can take this pan directly from your stove top and then put it directly into your oven if you choose so. And then it can actually finish that meat off in the oven after you've seasoned it and seared it on top. And that actually helps your meat be a lot more juicy on the inside when you cook it that way. So let's get to that next pan, which is one of my favorites as well. So my next pot is actually going to be a pot that I would suggest that you do deep frying in. This right here is a 6-quart stock pot. There are a lot of different items that you can cook in here. You can cook some veggies. You can boil some chicken. You can actually even fry chicken in this as well. Yes, you can actually deep fry chicken in this as well. So I would actually pour my oil about maybe 1/3 of the way up. And then as you put that chicken in here, the oil is going to rise, but you can manage it a lot easier, especially if you're a rookie in the kitchen or that you may have a little less cooking experience. This would be a great pot to actually fry in because there are actually thermometers that you can actually put in your oil that can actually tell you the temperature of your oil, and it will actually rest on the rim of this pot. And one of the reasons they call this a stock pot is that when people boil down, soups or boil down meat, they actually boil this down and you actually create what you call stock from bones or from chicken or from whatever. And this is a great pot to do that with as well. So there are a lot of different items that you can cook in here. You can cook big batches of soup or vegetables or things like that as well. One of the South's favorite, we can cook collard greens in a pot like this. This would be really good for about maybe a 3 to 4 person home to cook collard greens in, because collard greens, they start out really, really high, but they drop low. They drop that thing real low. But yeah, this is a great pot for fresh veggies because veggies actually have a lot of water in it. So they may start out really high, but as time go along, they actually seep down into the pot, cook really low, and a lot of the water from those fresh veggies and things will actually cook out of the veggies and will shrink down into your pot. Okay. This is technically not a pot. This is actually a pan. This is and again, I use my pans. These pans aren't going to be super pretty, but this is a sheet, what I call a sheet pan. In the commercial world, this would be considered a half sheet pan. This is actually considered just like a cookie sheet pan. This actually is a little thicker. So if you purchase a sheet pan, I would suggest try to purchase a sheet pan that's a little thicker and that's not too flimsy. I'm a really strong guy, and I really kind of have a rough time kind of turning this or twisting this. That actually helps this pan stay in a lot better shape, because what heat does sometimes, if you've noticed, grandmama might have a really thin one, and they will actually twist and turn over time, and you can't even get it back straight. So I would kind of suggest, if you can afford, so purchase a thicker one. They're really reasonable on Amazon, so that you don't get those twists and turns in your pan. This sheet pan right here can feed a family of 8, depending upon what you're cooking on this sheet pan. There are a lot of different items that you can cook on here. You can bake fish, and of course you can cook cookies on it. There are a lot of different items that you can actually cook on this pan for your house, and this is a much needed pan for your first apartment, for your first place. So I think with these pans, you can cook a tremendous amount of different recipes with these 4 different pans. Of course, there are a lot more pans out there. You got your double boilers and steamer pans, all of that different stuff. With these 4 pans, you can cook just about any recipe out there that you're looking for, especially for a home of 1 to 2 people. So these pans, most of these pans that you see here, they can be bought at a very, very low rate. Amazon has all these pans, of course, in most local stores. But if you're just starting out, a great place to go to purchase pans would be a store, something like Home Goods, TJ Maxx. Ross actually sells, nice pans at a really budgeted price. And if you really want to get more budgeted, a lot of secondhand stores sell these pans as well. And I have actually bought some really nice pans at secondhand stores that are really good quality. You just gotta go in there at the right time and catch them when they're in there, because they get gone pretty quickly. Okay, so those are great places to actually purchase these pans that I'm showing you here today. We hope that this will help you in your first home that you're looking to purchase or lease in 2025, okay? Thank you so much for watching. I'm Jermaine, and we'll see you in the next episode.